A dictation by Virgo and Poor, delivered by the messenger of the Great White Brotherhood, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, on Saturday, October 9, 1993, titled Violet Flame Can Stop Earth Changes. The hierarch of the earth element addressed us, saying, Now we come to address you from the very heart of the earth. I am Pelor. You have heard the sound of gnomes. He's referring to the music we just heard. You have heard the sound of their marching. You have heard the sound of intensification, for this is their form of transmutation, of throwing off the burden of humankind's negative karma. This is the frenzied pitch that is reached when they must transmute the burdens of humanity without the violet flame. This intensity is what produces volcanic eruption, earthquake, hurricane, tidal wave, flood, and storm. Thus, from the depths of the earth, from the surface to the very center, to the very part that is the violet flame sea, placed in the center of the earth by Omritas, gnomes, elemental beings of the earth under the guidance of myself and beloved Virgo, do perform the tasks necessary and fundamental to the holding of the balance in the earth element. Of all elementals, these gnomes carry the greater weight of density, physical density of mankind's karma. And though the mighty undines bear the heavy weight of the astral plane, though the mighty sylphs bear the weight of the air element and the mental belt, and though the fiery salamanders bear the weight of all abuses of fire in the etheric octave, know then that elemental life is a pyramid, and the base of the pyramid is the earth, and the next level of the pyramid is the water, and the next level of the pyramid is the air, and the next level of the pyramid is fire. Mankind has a tremendous influence on elemental life, for good or for ill. The elementals are very easily influenced. They are more easily influenced than a child. For example, wrong thought and feeling poured out in a small town day after day by husbands and wives fighting could result in a tornado hitting that town. That's right. A tornado can be generated by the thoughts and feelings of the people in that town if the elementals pick it up. So great a weight of mankind's karma do they bear that the gnomes themselves take on man's ways, becoming grumpy, grouchy, until a sweet teacher appears like the Blessed Mother in the guise of Snow White to lead them gently up the scale of their earthly evolution under the hierarchs, Virgo and Pelor. Therefore, the alchemy of their transmutation without your insertion of violet flame and accelerated violet flame does require them to practice the science of alchemy, the alchemistry of God, in order to hold the balance. But when the ingredient of the violet flame is added, then you will see what the meaning is of the term world transmutation. Invoking the violet flame is a major way we can help the elementals. Earth could be very different if elementals were not bowed down with pollution and the weight of mankind's karma. In Genesis, God tells Adam, Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. The ground is symbolic of elemental life. In other words, because mankind's fall from grace, represented in the figures of Adam and Eve, the elementals were cursed. That is, mankind's negative karma was introduced into their worlds, and the elementals were assigned the task of maintaining balance where karmic imbalance now appeared. The weight of karma has been building up over centuries and millennia. And like mankind, the elementals become listless. They become tired. They become burdened. They become overworked. And they carry a great weight of oppression and depression, despair and discouragement. Yet the elementals keep on keeping on, keep on working heroically to clean up the earth, the air, and the water of our planet. They know that 5.5 billion souls wearing 4 lower bodies depend upon them. So day after day, they work to keep the earth on an even keel. Without the unflagging work of the elementals, our souls would not have a physical platform on which to live. We would not have a place to work out our karma or to grow spiritually. But beloved ones, we can clear the elementals of their burden. We can help the elementals. Pelor continues to tell us, I come for your work can avail much and much more. I would suggest that you hearken to Arcturus and Victoria, that you use the violet flame in every way, that you sing and dance and march to the violet flame, that you determine all types of actions whereby you can accomplish them with the violet flame. So the violet flame does go forth from every angle of consciousness, from every level, continuously pouring, beloved. Write songs to the violet flame. We will assist you. The helium of music will assist you. Let us see then how violet flame can be that singular point of intercession that can stop, yet, earth changes, calamity, war, etc. In 1993, Aramesis and Diana came again with a plea and a prayer for the elementals. They described other planets that are barren today because the elementals on those planets had no sponsorship, no sons and daughters of God who would keep the flame for them. Aramesis says, and where you see barren planets, where there is nothing, there is the physical octave, as science reports it, beloved. The elementals simply could not survive because they had no sponsorship. Not one single solitary son or daughter of God who remained on those planets. This is the cause, beloved. And when you look at the blessedness and the beauty of planet Earth and the violations of planet Earth, you realize certainly with your eyes wide open what precisely does hang in the balance. So, beloved, I cannot even tell you what great good karma shall come to you for caring for elemental life. Nor can I begin to express the gratitude of elementals if you should give this mantra. He's referring to Decree 7.07b. Give this mantra regularly on their behalf, for they will come and serve and minister unto you. And as they do this, you shall come into their auras, and they shall bring them into your auras, and you shall teach them the violet flame, and you will show them the way of giving the violet flame decrees, until by those very decrees they will become a part of a universal alchemy, whereby the sons of God shall determine, as we all pray, that these elementals shall receive the gift of the threefold flame. For elementals know that they do not have eternal life, and that when they pass away, it is permanent. Yet their service to you means more to them than life. The elementals do not have a threefold flame, and that until they earn that threefold flame, they must rely on your heart flame. Yes, they must decree with you, but they must have you decree with. For they depend upon the altar of your heart as you depend on the altar of God's heart and upon the unfed flame. It is not just your family and your children who depend upon you, but each and every one of you has potentially millions of elementals who depend on your heart flame. Therefore, acquaint thyself with the elementals, learn from them, but also know that though you may have not excelled in personal adeptship, the presence of your own Christ self and your own Christhood does place you in a superior position to these elementals. See to it then that you always command them to go forth in righteousness, bearing the sword of the Lord of our righteousness, to do good, to shun evil, and to never succumb to suggestion that is put upon them by the manipulative fallen angels, to compromise the law for immediate gain, rather than to be patient until the law does fulfill all things to every man. And do you understand, beloved, that all of these three kingdoms, angelic, human, and elemental kingdoms, are necessary in the earth? And so, if all elementals had a threefold flame and were prioritized to the Christ consciousness, Lord Maitreya, through the heart of Jesus and Padmasambhava, these elementals then could be a mighty presence in the sustaining of a great golden age. And what rejoicing, what gladness, what realization in your hearts that they too might then earn their immortal life, just as you are earning your immortal life by the same power of the heart flame. So, beloved ones, beloved Arcturus and Victoria have spoken, and all masters of the violet flame in the seventh ray since the beginning of the original dispensation of Saint Germain's releasing that flame in this century. The violet flame is the key to the restoration of this planet, to the healing of all your ailments, to your supply, and the multiplication thereof. There is no one in the earth, no matter what classification, no matter what crimes they have committed, no matter how they have sinned against God or elemental life or the animal kingdom, there is no one who cannot come into his own God realization by the persistent use of the violet flame. And I tell you, when you invoke elementals to join you with the seventh ray beings and all beings on all rays, for there is no one in heaven that does not use the violet flame, you will see the purification once again of the atmosphere of the earth. You will see the sealing once again of the astral plane, that it may no longer erupt into the physical. There is so much to be cleaned up by that time, and my presentation to you this night is not intended to be an overstatement or an understatement, but the reality that when you use the violet flame and it is multiplied by you, great transformations will come about in your own brain, your own mind, and your own body. You will feel the strength of rejuvenation as the flame within your heart becomes such a focus of violet fire that your threefold flame is continually multiplying the action, rippling through the waters, the air, and the earth. Blessed ones, you have not heard a single solution from scientists, environmentalists, government officials, name whatever category of person you would name, not a single solitary solution that will meet in time the crisis that we find in planet Earth today. The only solution is the God solution of the seventh ray of Aquarius, the seventh ray of the seventh age of Saint Germain and Portia. I, Aramesis, say to you, call to me frequently, for remember, I am not just an elemental, I am an ascended master. My consort Diana is an ascended master. We then together may be called upon, just as you call to other ascended masters, and we have the combined momentum of having been inspired by Elohim with the responsibility of all fiery salamanders upon this planet. At the same conference, the hierarch of the air element addressed us as well, saying, may you continue to understand your oneness with all life, counting yourselves angels above and elementals all around you as a team effort of sons and daughters of God, angels and elementals. It is truly the Trinity of life, and the power of that Trinity through the Christed sons and daughters is the power to bring earth into the golden age. Thus, do not in any way limit yourself, but come to this altar with a clean heart, a pure spirit, and a powerful determination, an inner conviction that is truly profound, that the solutions of Earth's problems are at hand, and they are in your hand as the violet flame bursts forth from the very center of your palm, from that chakra, as the lesser chakras of the hands of Jesus crucified. Know then, therefore, that all things can be accomplished, and as you decide to take another turn up the spiral highway of life, into higher and higher octaves of the elevation of the mind, you shall know that God determination. You shall walk the earth as unascended masters. You shall walk the earth knowing that through you, you have not shuffled off this mortal coil, yet your immortality shines brightly and has access to the power of God to work change. Work change in everyone you know by cultivating a sincere friendship with the body of elementals of all of your friends. We can help the elementals. And as you speak to those elementals and calm their fears and teach them how to heal the body, you shall know a victory. You shall know a balancing of karma. You shall know a brightness that shall descend upon you. And the rainbow rays of God you shall see, and they shall be your very own causal body of light, that you are able to first sense and know, and then to dimly see, and then ultimately to meet the presence of God face to face, as Moses did. Therefore, recognize that there is indeed an overlay of mankind's consciousness upon elementals. And because that is there, they are bowed down, and therefore they are not necessarily always in the best of spirits. But they are not cross-eyed and pigeon-toed, and always fat and always having some sort of heaviness about them. You must realize that the work that is accomplished by elementals is accomplished by experts. Simply look around you at all of life and the absolute magnificence of this planetary body, and ask yourself whether demented and lazy gnomes could have accomplished such a task. I tell you nay. And therefore root for the elementals, pour violet flame upon them, and bring them daily to new levels of consciousness, whereby even a greater glory of God might appear, that they might accomplish that which seems impossible. But they shall accomplish it by the power of Elohim reinforcing them. And that task, beloved ones, is the purification of a planetary body. Do you understand, beloved, that you can change the earth by the power of God that is in you? You can do this. It is time that you took many leaps in consciousness. It is time that you took the key of Neptune, that you opened the prison door and exited the very prison of your own mind. For when you have the key and use the key of Neptune, beloved, you have the key of alchemy. You have the key whereby you can begin to understand your role as a son or daughter of God, as a ruler in the earth, as a defender of elementals. Those who rule, beloved, are those who serve to set life free. For Neptune and Laura have told you, once you take it, this key, and use it to unlock your own prison cell, the prison cell of the mind and of the heart, and of the solar plexus, the prison cell of many levels of being. Then I say, when you are the truly liberated man, woman at all levels of being, take this key, go forth, unlock doors, unlock the doors of those who are imprisoned by fallen angels, unlock the doors where elementals suffer and cannot do their work, for they are imprisoned in the curses of the fallen ones. We can help the elementals. For the fallen ones have long ago recognized the value of controlling the beings of the elements. This they do through the bloodletting of voodoo ceremony and satanic rite, invoking demonic forces of the astral plane, and casting spells of death and destruction and hexes that hypnotically bind the elementals to do their bidding. Under these gross misuses of the sacred fire, some salamanders, as well as other elementals, have been imprisoned for centuries, and thus mankind have come to fear the nature spirits and to attribute to them mischievous and even malevolent designs. Thus, the first order of the day is to invoke the legions of Archangel Michael and mighty Estrella to cut free the imprisoned salamanders, to draw them up into the great central sun magnet to God's heart for repolarization and realignment with his mighty will, which is always good for all who partake of its cup. Again, we say the violet flame is the most effective and intense means of erasing the wrongs and hurts of the past, as well as diligent calls to Archangel Michael and mighty Estrella. This will effectively cut elemental life free from the artifices of witchcraft imposed upon them by self-seeking and short-sighted rebels against the cause of the great white brotherhood. Today, we're going to hear from Neptune himself and learn of this great key that Aries and Thor are referring to, that we can use to unlock the doors where elementals suffer and cannot do their work, who are imprisoned in these curses. But let us ponder deeply Pelor's final words from his 1993 dictation. Visualize then billions of coils of violet flame coiling back to the central sun, and the pollutions of the earth passing through the center of these coils, being transmuted. This is the lawful, joyous, cosmic way for world transmutation, whereby every hour of every day and in the first rays of the dawn, world pollution passes back to the central sun by violet flame coils established by sons and daughters of God, who decided in this 20th and now 21st century to become adepts and to make it so. This is a vision I see for you passing into the 21st century, your recognition of the reality of elementals and their tasks, your recognition of their burdens, your recognition of them as being great scientists with minds vast, controlling all forces of nature, your recognition of this and the part you can play that can make the difference. Yes, we can help elemental life. Is it not a grand challenge to be part of Earth victory? Congregation responded. We count it so, beloved, and we count it so because you are here supporting us. You are cheering us on. You are determined to make it possible for us to finish the job. For this we bow at the altar of the Holy Grail. We bow before the altar of your heart, and in unison we say, we thank you with all of our hearts.